Many years ago, in a small and crowded neighborhood in the Philippines, there lived a man who worked as a carpenter. His hands were rough, his back was always tired, and his clothes were often covered in dust and wood shavings. Every morning before the sun fully rose, he would pick up his worn tools and walk long distances to construction sites, hoping to earn just enough to feed his family for the day. Life was never easy for him, but he never complained. His dream was simple: he wanted his children to have a better life than he did. His youngest son was different from the others. While the carpenter worked with wood and nails, the boy worked with sounds and silence. He would sing while doing chores, hum melodies while sitting on the floor, and copy songs he heard on an old radio that barely worked. Music became his escape from hunger, from stress, from the feeling of being poor in a world that often ignores the poor. The father noticed this gift early. After long days of hard labor, when his body begged for rest, he would still sit and listen to his son sing. Sometimes he would close his eyes and smile, imagining a future where his son would never have to struggle the way he did. He believed in his son's voice more than anything else in his life. But belief alone does not pay bills. There were days when the family had nothing but rice and salt to eat. There were nights when the rain leaked through the roof and the boy held his siblings close while his father tried to block the water with pieces of cloth. Still, even in those moments, music never stopped. The boy sang louder, as if trying to tell the world that he existed, that his dreams mattered. One day, someone in the neighborhood recorded the boy singing on a cheap phone and uploaded the video online. The quality was bad, the sound was rough, but the emotion was pure. Slowly, the video began to spread. People were touched by the voice and the story behind it. That small video would become the bridge between a poor Filipino home and one of the biggest stages in the world. America's Got Talent reached out. For the family, it felt unreal. Flying to America was something they had only seen in movies. The father cried when he heard the news. Not because he was scared, but because he felt that all those years of struggle had finally led to something meaningful. When the boy first walked onto the America's Got Talent stage, he was nervous. His clothes were simple, his English was broken, but his eyes were full of hope. The judges asked him about his life, and he spoke about his father, the carpenter, who worked endlessly to support his family. He talked about poverty, about singing to escape hunger, about dreaming of a better life. Then he sang, and in that moment, the world stopped. His voice was not just strong, it was honest. It carried the pain of a child who had seen too much too early. The audience stood up. Some people cried. Even Simon Cowell, known for his tough criticism, looked genuinely moved. That performance changed everything. The boy did not win the competition, but he won something even bigger. He won hearts around the world. Opportunities started coming. Interviews, small concerts, invitations. For the first time, the carpenter's son felt that his voice could truly take him somewhere. But life is not a straight road. After the show, reality returned. Fame faded faster than expected. Opportunities slowed down. The family still struggled. The boy grew older, and with age came pressure. People expected greatness from him, but greatness is heavy when you come from nothing. During this time, his father's health began to decline. Years of hard labor had damaged his body. The carpenter who once lifted heavy wood with ease now struggled to stand for long periods. Hospital bills started piling up. The son felt guilty. He felt that he had not done enough, that his voice had failed to fully save his family. There were moments when he thought of giving up music entirely. He considered working regular jobs, doing whatever he could to help his parents. But every time he was about to quit, he remembered his father sitting quietly after work, listening to him sing with tired but proud eyes. One night, his father called him and said something that would stay with him forever. He said that tools break, houses fall, and money disappears, but a voice that touches hearts can live forever. He told his son not to waste the gift he was given. Shortly after that, his father passed away. The loss was devastating. The son felt empty, as if the foundation of his life had been ripped away. Music, which once brought him comfort, now reminded him of pain. For months, he could not sing without crying. Every note reminded him of his father's sacrifices, of unfinished dreams, of promises he wished he had fulfilled sooner. Then came a call that would change everything once again. America's Got Talent was inviting past contestants to return, to show how they had grown, to share their journeys. When the son received the invitation, he froze. The stage that once gave him hope now felt terrifying. This time, he would be singing not as a child with dreams, but as a man carrying grief. He thought of saying no. He felt he was not ready. But then he thought of his father. He imagined him smiling and nodding, telling him to be brave. And so, he said yes. Preparing for the return performance was different from the first time. This was not about impressing judges or winning votes. This was about telling a story, his story, through a song. He chose a song that spoke of loss, gratitude, and love beyond death. Every lyric felt personal. Every word was like a conversation with his father. When he arrived in America again, the memories came rushing back. The bright lights, the big stage, the nervous energy. But this time, there was something different in his eyes. There was sadness, but also strength. On the day of the performance, the audience did not know what to expect. Many remembered him as the poor Filipino boy with a powerful voice. Few knew how much he had been through since then. He walked onto the stage quietly. His clothes were still simple, but his presence was stronger. The judges recognized him immediately. Simon Cowell leaned forward, curious. The host asked him what he had been doing since his last appearance. With a calm but emotional voice, he spoke about his father. He talked about being a carpenter's son, about growing up poor, about losing the man who believed in him more than anyone else. The audience listened in silence. You could feel the emotion building in the room. Then the music started. From the first note, something felt different. His voice was deeper now, more mature, but still full of raw emotion. He sang with his eyes closed, as if his father was standing right in front of him. Every lyric was filled with love and pain. The song was not just heard, it was felt. As he reached the chorus, his voice cracked slightly, not from weakness, but from honesty. Tears streamed down faces in the audience. Some people held their chests, others covered their mouths. The emotion was overwhelming. And then there was Simon Cowell. Known as the toughest judge, the man who rarely shows emotion, Simon tried to keep his composure. But as the song continued, his eyes began to shine. He swallowed hard, trying to stay calm, but the tears came anyway. It was not just about the voice. It was about the story, the loss, the love between a father and a son. When the song ended, there was a moment of silence. No one moved. No one clapped. Immediately, it was as if the room needed a second to breathe again. Then the applause exploded. The entire audience stood up. It was not a normal standing ovation. It was powerful, emotional, and full of respect. The singer stood there, shaking, tears in his own eyes, looking up as if thanking his father in heaven. Simon Cowell wiped his tears and spoke. He said that in all his years on the show, moments like this were rare. He said that the performance was not just about singing, but about truth. He admitted that he was deeply moved, not only by the voice, but by the courage it took to stand there and sing through pain. The other judges praised him as well, but it was clear that something special had happened. This was not just a performance. It was a healing moment, not only for the singer, but for everyone watching. That night, the video of his performance spread across the world. People shared it with messages about their own fathers, their own losses, their own dreams. Comments poured in from different countries, from people who had never met him but felt connected to his story. For the carpenter's son, this return to America's Got Talent was not about winning a trophy. It was about honoring his father. It was about proving that sacrifices are never wasted, that love lives on through actions and memories. After the show, opportunities came again, but this time, he was wiser. He knew fame was temporary, but purpose was lasting. He focused on music that told real stories, music that healed, music that mattered. He also began supporting causes close to his heart, helping poor families, supporting children with talent but no resources. In every interview, he mentioned his father, the carpenter who built more than houses, who built a dream in his son's heart. This story reminds us that greatness does not always come from comfort. Sometimes it comes from hunger, from struggle, from watching your parents sacrifice everything so you can have a chance. It reminds us that behind every powerful voice, there is often a story of pain and love. The poor Filipino carpenter may never have stood on the America's Got Talent stage, but his presence was felt that night more than ever. Through his son's voice,